Okay, now I just bumped the setting to a different setting. I'm trying to find what's optimal. So far I'm greened up here. You should be able to see and hear me okay. Let's see if this continues. If you see any network congestion or audio problems, video problems, etc., let me know and I'll change the setting. But so far everything in the control room over there looks okay. Let me, excuse me, Sean Coonery, I got to get to my desk. He's taking over my desk. Okay, so I think we're okay now. Got a lot of people tuning in live. Thomas is here. Welcome aboard, Thomas. We've got Augustin. Hello from Argentina. Wow, that is really cool. So we got people from all over the globe here. Hopefully nobody is in the path, or hopefully nobody has been in the path of Irma. Very devastating storm. So yeah, devastating to say the least. So yeah, let's get rolling here. So we got a lot of good stuff going. Obviously, it's not just drones. There's a lot of things right around the corner. One of the biggest things is the alleged announcement that's coming from Sony. You know, we've been waiting for an A7R3 and A7S3 for a while. Hopefully something that will usher in 4K 60 frames per second. It looks like we may be about to see that released by Sony. So I'm excited about that. Obviously full frame Sony E-mount camera. There's also rumors of an A9R and and possibly an A9S. But I think more plausible would be the A7R3 and A7S3. Everything right now so far with the live streaming seems to be holding up. Can y'all see me okay? Is the lighting okay? Is the audio okay? Let me know. Again, I've updated to this new software, and actually something that's really cool. And once I get all my studio settings tweaked with the bandwidth, which I think I may have, if everything goes well with this live show with the audio and the video feed, I think we'll be in that position. But the next step will be to bring in live guest face on video. So this live streaming software that I use, I can send out an invitation, and I think with mine, I think I may be able to have up to 2 live guests concurrently. So that would be really cool, you know, especially for not just this show but epic drone shows. So got fur all over my laptop. Sean Coonery is up here on the desk, so he's yeah, he's got a lot of fur in here. Yep, so looks like we're holding strong so far. Just checking the control room. Adam says, Irix, my trip to St. Thomas was canceled. Big bummer. Well, you know, it's good that it's horrible that it was canceled, but it's good that it was, because unfortunately St. Thomas and St. John and most all of the and then you go, you know, further south down to the French West Indies, total disaster. It's horrible. You know, a lot of those places that you'll find in my videos throughout the BVIs and the USVI, a lot of those places unfortunately are completely devastated. So, you know, everything will be rebuilt. I mean, obviously they're used to that sort of stuff down in the Caribbean, but it hit really hard, and it's definitely going to give everything a fresh face as it's rebuilt. One of the biggest challenges down there is the fact that a lot of the lumber and other supplies, they're imported. So it's not, you know, it's not like being on the mainland where you've got a surplus of building supplies. It's a logistical nightmare to get all of that down there. So now if you're looking for, you know, you're bummed that your St. Thomas trip, that Irma ruined that for you, ought to check out Bermuda. And now Bermuda is a seasonal island, so, you know, a lot of people think Bermuda's in the Caribbean, and it's actually not. It's seasonal. So I mean, you'll get winter in Bermuda, so check that out. But, you know, if you go to Bermuda during warm weather months, that's an awesome place to go. So, you know, don't write that off of your list if you're bummed that you know, the hurricane hit your destination. You know, check out some other islands like Bermuda, because I mean, unfortunately, a lot of the Caribbean, including Turks and Caicos, just a total. I mean, it's wiped out down there. It's horrible. And Turks and Caicos, Providencialis, that's a different animal because it's only a few miles across. So the house we were in down there, we're talking to the people, and they're like, yeah, they said when a hurricane comes, they just have to get off the island because it's a different animal because it is almost completely flat. So, you know, when there's a bad storm down there in the TCI, it can be catastrophic. So, you know, fortunately, some of these islands, like St. John and St. Thomas, they have some elevation, so at least, you know, have the ability to get out of the flood zone. But yeah, it's bad, very bad. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get going with the show here. You know, again, the live show, adding in the remote guest, that's functionality I've got with this streaming software. It still looks like, looking at the control room, it looks like we're holding strong with both the video and audio transmission. And this is live chroma key, so to be able to do this and have a semi-convincing live chroma key effect, it shows that I think I may have nailed the settings. So I'm saving this template that I'm using right now for the live streaming, and I'll use this for my future broadcast because I think we've nailed it. I know the past few live shows I've hosted, there's been a lot of disappointment there because the network would bomb out and it would ruin the live show. So hopefully that's not the case anymore. Try and drank a lot of water. Had a ton of hot wings for breakfast, and yeah, those things were hot. My stomach's on fire, man. Just trying to drink this water and get going. But yeah, interesting next few weeks. You know, as we gear up for the holiday season. I think, you know, again, I think from Sony we're hopefully going to see. And I don't know if we'll necessarily see it fourth quarter of this year, but maybe we'll at least get an announcement for the, you know, for the new Sony Alpha cameras. But now Apple's having a press release, and I think it's, what is that, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday? I've marked it on my calendar. And I don't know if we're going to get iPhone 8, but iPhone 7S is pretty much imminent. Yeah, 9/12. Yeah, so the 12th, that would be Tuesday. Is when Apple's event is. And something I thought about, you know, there's a lot of chatter about the Apple Watch 3. I mean, obviously they just came out with the Apple Watch 2 not long ago, and that's what I got on my wrist. I've really enjoyed I've enjoyed the Apple Watch 2 because it's got integrated GPS and it's somewhat water resistant. I mean, I swim with it, hadn't had any problems. But what I'd like to see from the Apple Watch 3 is the ability, you know, if I don't, you know, say I don't want to take my cell phone with me because of the size and weight, but I want to have the ability to receive and answer a quick phone call if needed. I think a standalone cellular function for the Apple Watch, not a second cell phone agreement, but if they could do it to where you could use your, you know, the Apple Watch 3 and maybe hit a button on your iPhone and say that you're going completely mobile and that you're just going to have your Apple Watch 3 for, you know, however long. I mean, I know the battery life's not as good as an iPhone, but, you know, at least be able to have that enhanced portability, not have to carry around that iPhone in your pocket. I think that would be a cool feature for the Apple Watch 3. And something I'm really excited about is whether Apple is going to include a solar recharging capability in the Apple Watch 3, whether it's a solar panel built into the watch face itself, or maybe it's a solar panel integrated into the watch face and or the strap. And then that way when you're outside and it's sunny, the Apple Watch can continuously trickle charge itself. Some other solid rumors have been the ability for the Apple Watch 3 to be an automatic watch. You know, when you're dealing with Swiss watches that are automatic, you know, they constantly recharge themselves by the movement of one's wrist. So what if there was a similar mechanism that was developed for the Apple Watch 3, that when you're wearing it throughout the day and moving your wrist, that it recharges the battery inside because of the motion of one's wrist? I think that would be a cool feature. I mean, because ultimately, having to take a watch off every day or so to recharge it on a USB charger, it's not a huge inconvenience, but it's still, if it just kept going when you were wearing it, it would eliminate that downtime, which is cool, especially when you're using your Apple Watch to track your health and other things. So, Adam says, do you have any thoughts about camcorders for YouTube videos or do you use only DSLR? Some of those 4K camcorders have great autofocus. Yeah, there's actually, and let me get you a link here to this video. There's a camcorder that I used to use extensively, and let me get the link for you here. I'm going to get you a link so you can see the quality of it. Hold on, I'm just loading the link for you. Got so many videos, it takes a while to get to them. I mean, there's advantages. Okay, here we go. Here's the link. And to answer your question right now, I pretty much just use my mirrorless camera because of the interchangeable lens nature of it. But here's a link right here to when I was unboxing the camcorder I used to use. And check the link within that video's description. You can find the camcorder, the microphone, which is really cool because it powers off of the camcorder's battery. You don't have to have a separate battery for the microphone. And I've enjoyed using it, and the autofocus on it was top notch. And what's interesting, that particular Handycam is not considered, a lot of people say it's not a professional camcorder, but the fact is that, you know, I was looking at the quality of it. I messed with the what was it, the ZX one of the XD cams, one of the 4K models, and those things are massive. I just didn't like it. It was too big, it was too heavy. And when I looked at the video quality of that costs several times more than this Handycam, the quality I was getting out of this Handycam, the one I just linked within the chat there, it's just awesome. So yeah, check out that video, and then again check the link within that video's description. You can find multiple videos that I filmed with that camcorder. You can find all the accessories. And if I was looking for a camcorder, if I just wanted something that was 4K, you know, something with great autofocus, you know, I didn't want to have to deal with learning how to use manual focus, but I wanted to get, using autofocus, I wanted to get consistently excellent quality that looks near pro. I mean, that thing's hard to beat. And the other thing about this cool, you know, versus the, and I'm going to grab it right here, right now. Hold on just a second. The other thing that's cool about the, that's funny, when I got up I messed up the chroma key. Now it looks washed out, doesn't it? There we go, turn it off for a second there. And let's see. See, now I'm just in front of a green wall. But this right here, this particular camera, this has been my go-to for everything recently. The A7R2. The reason being is that it's interchangeable lens, and it's great for still photos as well. So, you know, it's not, but for your intended purpose, if you're looking for, you know, if you're looking for, let's see, yeah, that looks washed out now. That's because I got up. It's funny how this live chroma key works. But yeah, if you're looking for something, just pick up and go, get 4K video, great autofocus. See, the disadvantage to this A7R2, although it's interchangeable lens, it's got this screen on the back. Now the screen on the back, it'll go out, it'll go up, but what you'll notice is that it won't go forward. It won't pop up, or it won't pop out to the side like say a Lumix GH4 or GH5. So, you know, that's a disadvantage to this. Also with this, you're limited to continuous recording times of 29 minutes, and that's because, number one, these cameras do get hot, but it's some sort of legal thing with the classification of the camera versus camcorder. It's some sort of political thing why they don't allow them to exceed 29 minutes per video clip. So yeah, that you'll be in a boat. Yeah, that camcorder that I just linked, and again, check the link within this video's description because you can find the camcorder and all the accessories. And that, there's something you don't see listed there, let me know, and I'll find links for you. But it was just good because I could just pop it out and I could film. And when I was in the studio, since the camcorder had the screen that could face forward, I could do face on video segments. In your case, out on the beach or out on the boat, if you were filming yourself on a tripod, you could see if you were in the frame. Obviously with this, the only way I can see if I'm in the camera's frame is that I compare it. Now, I do have a wireless app that I use with this A7R2 that lets me pair and use my iPhone as a viewfinder of sorts. So I can do that. Obviously, that's eating through the batteries more when I'm doing that because of it's utilizing the Wi-Fi to communicate with my iPhone. So, that's not exactly optimal. Now, in my studio, if I'm using this, I'll connect an HDMI out, and I've got an inexpensive 7-inch HDMI field monitor that's on a tripod, so I can see if I'm in the camera's field of view. So for me, this works well. Now, what you don't get, if you're doing this versus a camcorder, again, you're getting that. With a camcorder, you're not getting that 29-minute continuous recording limitation. But, with this, you've also got to you've got to have a better understanding of camera settings. So, for example, auto mode out of this is, in my opinion, not going to look as good as auto mode out of the camcorder. Now, where this really shines and where this can really stomp the camcorder is using high-quality lenses, which that camcorder, by the way, has a Zeiss lens. But these right here, these prime non-zoom Zeiss lenses, these things are razor sharp. I mean, even sharper than what's in that the Handycam that I sent you the link to. But I mean, it's to really master this, I've spent hundreds of hours out in the wilderness and everywhere, different lighting, just trying to figure out how to use it, and I've gotten pretty good at it. And I can say that due to all the practice that I put in, this mirrorless camera and the fact that I can use, it's interchangeable lens camera, I can use the top quality lenses from Zeiss that are on the market and just get rock solid results. But it takes a lot of, it took a lot of experience to learn how to know my environment. So for example, if I'm filming an unboxing video with this, I've got to take into account my depth of field. Depth of field meaning, do I want to blur the background or not blur the background? So, if I'm doing an unboxing video, I don't want to have a shallow depth of field. I want to have a bigger depth of field. So you've got to know how to put those settings into play for that. Versus if I'm filming in a public location, face on video, and I want to have a shallow depth of field because I want to blur the faces that may be walking behind me. So there's different filming scenarios, and each one of those filming scenarios requires knowing how to set the appropriate settings. Now, I've gotten really complicated with this now because I'm using a manual focus lens. Well, I've got a lot of autofocus lenses also, but the lens is manual focus, so that's when you've really got to learn what's going on. But by doing so, one of the disadvantages to an autofocus camcorder or camera is that when it autofocuses, you often experience what's referred to as focus breathing. When you're in manual focus, when you're in pure manual mode, manual focus, you're not going to see the focus breathing. I mean, like it would just be dead on throughout the video, start to finish. So that's one of the advantages. But no, for something high end that's 4K, it's auto mode, just rock solid, consistently excellent quality. Check that one out because. I think it's based upon I use that camcorder for hundreds of hours now. Again, now I just use this mirrorless camera, but when I used it, I had a great experience. So I hope that helps, man. I mean, that's the best. That would be if I was going to take one thing that was not a waterproof camera. Obviously use a GoPro or one of the Sony action cameras for that scenario that's waterproof, but. If it's just something that you're going to be on dry land and you want to get the best results possible, that's what I would go for. Fly High Guy says, have you done any RC boats before? Actually, I have. I've got a few RC boat videos on my channel, and it was a few years ago. I want to get back into the RC boats, and it's just it's one of those things, you know, there's so many things I tinker with that it's on the list, but it just hasn't, you know, it hasn't happened yet. I just hadn't had time to get back into the RC boat. Well, Adam, I'm glad that helped, man. You know, any questions you have or anything in specific or anything in particular that you're looking for, just shoot me a message. The best way to get me is facebook.com/IrixGuy, and I can send you the direct links to all the cameras, the accessories, you know, whatever you're looking for. So, you know, I'll be obviously more than happy to do that for you. So, but yeah, that's a great all-around camera, man, camcorder. So, yeah, we've got, you know, getting into the holiday season here. We've got, you know, again, Apple's launch event, and it'll be interesting to see if they, hopefully macOS High Sierra, which is the update to macOS Sierra, hopefully High Sierra hits soon, so that we can download and install that on our Macs. I know it's going to have a lot of, it's going to bring in a lot of major enhancements, especially, you know, making the platform more capable for editing spherical 360-degree content. So, you know, hopefully we'll see Final Cut Pro 10 that's made for editing spherical video released very soon. And hopefully it won't be a paid upgrade. Hopefully it'll just be an upgrade to the existing version of Final Cut Pro 10 that many of us use. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting next few weeks, because it's already, let's see, it's September the 10th. So, you know, we're getting closer and closer to the holiday season. And yep, Sean Coonery's sitting here in the studio, kind of shook the camera. That's interesting. When I start out this live broadcast and I had the chroma key with the lighting and everything nailed, and then when I got up and moved, okay, I think I just got it back. Let's see. There we go. See, now the chroma key looks good again. I got the background back, and it should be full motion. Actually, this background clip, I filmed it with the A7R II, but I wasn't using the 50mm lens. I was using the 25mm Batis, and yeah, that's one thing with Zeiss lenses, and the Zeiss lens that's on that Handycam we're talking about. The what's referred to as color saturation looks spot on. Adam says your videos are a lot sweeter now that I'm rocking a 27-inch Apple 5K. Yeah, the 5K monitor is awesome on the iMac. Yeah, it's that makes a huge difference. You know, being able to be able to view the video that you've filmed and edited in 4K, and then be able to watch it in native 4K is incredible. And if there's any particular Final Cut Pro tutorials that you don't see on my channel that you'd be curious about, you know, drop me a message on Facebook, because I'd love to create more tutorials. I've dealt with various features within Final Cut Pro 10, and a lot of stuff that I've done I haven't necessarily realized that there would be value to share a tutorial video. So, you know, anything you're looking for, it's not there, let me know. Obviously, you know, I'm trying to grow the portfolio of tutorial videos on my channel, you know, for Final Cut Pro 10 and other things as well. So yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, and it's addictive once you start playing with it. I mean, you'll want to learn how to do this, learn how to do that, and then once you learn one thing, it'll lead to another thing, and it's just a fun hobby that's, you know, it's educational at the same time. So but yeah, so far this stream, I hope it's holding up okay on y'all's end. I'm showing my CPU utilization is only 56%. And let's see. Yeah, looks like so far so good with the stream. This is the most current version of Wirecast, and I told everybody I owe you a tutorial on how I live stream. So Again, I'm playing with this version of Wirecast for a bit longer, just to make sure I've mastered it. And then what I'll do is put together a tutorial. It's going to explain my lighting and everything that I have set up for live streaming. Check this out. I can jump to another camera now. Look at this. So see, there I am in the studio. So I got a light over there, I got a light over here, and you can't see it in this video, but I've got this multi-LED, what's referred to as a key light, which is why I'm so well lit on my face. This video feed you're seeing right now is just coming out of the iMac with Retina 5K computer. That's, the built-in FaceTime camera. So, and then that's Sean Coonery on the desk. You can see him right there. But that's the beauty of this, man. Is just doing the doing the live sets, and you'll notice what a really kill chroma key is a shadow. So you can see the shadow from this angle behind me, but when I flip back to the camera that's on my desk with the keying, this is a convincing chroma key effect because the shadow is behind me. If you have hot spots, places that are brighter or darker on your green screen, what that can do is it can degrade how convincing your chroma key is. But looking back at how I'm set up here, you can see that I've got a somewhat consistently well lit green screen. And obviously I've got these two umbrella lamps, or softbox lamps rather, positioned in a way to where they're facing towards the green wall and they're not facing towards the camera, because that can give it, if they were facing towards the camera, it can give it a washed out look, and that's less than optimal. So yeah, it's just again, it's a work in progress, like everything else on this channel. Being an independent channel, not part of a multi-channel network. Everything you see here is the product of trial and error, and actually quite a reasonable amount of of spend to get this equipment. But that's the thing with the equipment. A lot of people are obsessed with the highest end lighting, the highest end cameras and audio equipment. And I found what matters the most. I can get these lamps, and check out my tutorial when I put it up, and you'll be able to find all of this equipment. These lamps, I mean, they're not the most expensive ones, but they get the job done. And the key light that I have up there, it gets the job done. This little webcam I've got, it gets the job done. Now the microphone's important. This mic I got on my desk, that's a core component of a quality live stream. You don't want to sacrifice you don't want to skimp on the audio. So that's something that I don't cut corners on that. Likewise with the cameras, and I don't, I want to have a good camera. The lighting, I don't have to get the the most expensive lights, because a light's a light in my book as long as it's not flickering. So it's really a matter of, you don't have to get all that stuff at one time. You can start with a somewhat basic kit, and then upgrade your equipment as budget allows. So it's, let's see. Now, Fly High Guy says, have you done any drone filming in Colorado? Man, I haven't. I haven't been to Colorado since the last time I was in Colorado was before drones even existed, or at least consumer drones like we use. So yeah, I like Colorado though. It's a fun state, and I want to get out there and do some snowboarding and some skiing very soon. So that's on my to-do list. Adam says that is going to be a sweet tutorial. Can't wait. I appreciate that. I'm gonna do it right. Again, I want to make sure that I've got everything nailed with my configuration here before I put together a tutorial explaining what my configuration is, because I don't want to provide a tutorial that'll provide someone with lackluster results. Like anything else, what works in my studio in your studio may be completely different. I mean, you may have different lighting challenges, different space challenges. I mean, my studio is pretty tight as far as space is concerned. I mean, when you look at how small this little studio is, see, I mean, I don't have between my wall here and my other wall, if I'm doing a face on video thing, I've only got about 8 feet. so I'm limited. If I had more distance, I could do full body chroma key, which would be really cool, but I don't have that amount of space in this current location. So, and Sean Cooner, he says he takes up a lot of room, so he's sitting there on the table, grabbing my hand. Whoa. So he's flicking his tail. He's probably shaking the camera too. Well, you wouldn't see the shake because this is another camera, you're right. But when I go over to this camera, I bet you can see him shaking the camera. Whoa, because it's on the desk. But, yeah, just tons of good stuff coming. I mean, you know, that's the beauty of this. I mean, with technology, there's always something newer and better. And then ever so often, you know, we'll have something revolutionary. Remember when the iPhone came out for the first time? That was revolutionary. And then when the drones first came out, that was revolutionary. So, and the same with like a GoPro camera. When the first GoPro came out, that was something revolutionary. So, you know, hopefully we're going to see some really new and super exciting technologies. You know, the first time ever experiencing those technologies. So that'll be super fun. And yep. So we've got, let's see, got a lot going on. Just wanted to jump into a quick live show. You know, anything y'all need, again, shoot me a message on Facebook.com/IrixGuy. You're looking for camera equipment, camera accessories, drone equipment, drone accessories. Shoot me a message. Go to my website, IrixGuy.com, and my blog. I've got a ton of stuff already featured there. And then also my website, snagbear.com. So I've got a bunch of good stuff out there. And we'll get up again soon for another live show. And if you're interested in attending an upcoming live show, whether that's IrixGuy's live show or Epic Drone Show, let me know, because I've got this new streaming software where I can bring in, I think, up to 2 guests live. And there's an app. And this will be a learning process if y'all are interested in it. But there's an app you install on your smartphone, and then that enables you to connect to the link and then be part of the show face on video. So that ought to be really cool. But without further ado, let's go ahead and conclude this show. We're about a half hour in. If you were watching this at approximately 1:51 p.m. New York City time, this was a live show. And you can find the previously recorded version here in a few hours after it finishes processing. I'll put it on IrixGuy.com. So thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, youtube.com/IrixGuy. You have a good day. This guy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.